All right, guys. So in today's video, I want to talk about with Lee belt colors. Belt colors. What does it mean to be a blue belt? What does it mean to be a purple belt? What does it mean to be a brown belt? What does it mean to be a black belt? Like, what is the significance to all the ranks in jiu-jitsu? Now, it's a broad topic because every single school, every single instructor has different reasonings why they give out a blue belt, why they give out a purple belt, how they promote their students to black belt. And I just want to have a conversation with Lee, with you guys. I want some input on how you feel or what should be the baseline for each belt color.
Yeah.
Let's start with blue belt. Lee, what do
Yeah.
you think?
Well,
You're a blue belt. What do you think?
I see blue belt as an advanced beginner,
Okay.
right? You've learned some of the terminology and roughly some of the core positions. There's a curriculum you've studied. Probably can't pull it off against someone who's got some wrestling experience going full power, but you can probably do okay against somebody with no training.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be kind of the way I see it.
Yeah.
As a no strike blue belt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a blue belt should, and they do, know a significant amount of jiu-jitsu about a lot of things, but a little bit about a lot of things.
Yeah, some breadth, but not a lot of depth. Yeah.
Right? That's right. Like, at the stage you're at a blue belt, some escapes from every single position, some control from every single position.
Against somebody who doesn't have any familiarity with it, they work pretty damn good.
That's right.
Against somebody who's been here rolling for a year, eh,
So you know enough to get you by, but not enough to be successful against somebody that's a little bit more advanced than you. Right?
yeah, the way I look at it as is I don't have enough knowledge yet to overcome serious discrepancy in say like physical attributes. If the guy knows nothing but he's still strong, really fast, lots of cardio, outweighs me with 30 pounds a month, I don't have enough technique yet to overcome that.
Yeah.
At blue belt level,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's where a lot of people get discouraged and depressed. The blue belt blues is you're like, well, I should know how to deal with this guy, and it's like, well, you're still a beginner.
That's right. Like, at a blue belt, you're right. You're still a beginner.
I feel like I'm still a beginner.
Yeah, yeah, right. You know enough, a little bit about everything,
Yeah,
right? You know a little bit about everything.
I can play the game.
You can play the game. You can keep yourself safe.
I know how to be a good student.
You know not to extend your arms,
I
right?
know not to freak out and start clawing and elbowing, right? Being spazzy by this,
That's right, right?
right?
So white to blue, you're sort of getting rid of all the spastic
Yeah,
tendencies that you have as a white belt. You're starting to understand a little bit of what's going on from everywhere, and enough to know that you don't need to throw your hips up or extend your arm out.
start accidentally headbutting people.
That's
Just
right.
Freaking out when you're in their guard.
You don't just move for the sake of moving anymore.
I understand the etiquette and the culture of the gym,
Yeah.
right? Can be a good student. Learned how to learn.
Learn how to learn. I like that. Learn how to learn.
Yeah, well,
And yeah, some white belts, it's a difficult thing, right? Because jiu-jitsu is almost counterintuitive to the natural human response. If
yes.
somebody grabs you, what you would naturally do if you were just in a street fight compared to what a jiu-jitsu guy does, like, those are two massively different things.
Let me lay this crazy idea on you. This is something I thought of late one night, and it might be totally wrong, but it feels like we're all born with fighting instincts, and the ones we're born with suck, and we have to train them out and train in proper responses.
Yeah, yeah,
Would you say that's,
yeah.
yeah,
The first thing that somebody wants to do in a fighting situation that's never fought before is grab you by the head,
yeah,
right? You see it all, the headlock.
yeah,
But you and I both know that if someone grabs our head, I'm taking your back.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. They're giving up all kinds of stuff. Yeah, a headlock is not a guillotine choke.
No, it's definitely not, right? Those are significantly different.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So blue belt is an advanced beginner. We've shaken off some of the rust. We're starting to learn some skill from every position. Now, what do you think of purple belt?
So to me, a purple belt is somebody now who's started to internalize and have muscle memory on things. You don't have to think about all the details on a lot of escapes. You've got a toolkit now that works for not everything, but you've started to learn, hey, this works for me, that works. And when you roll, sometimes you don't, you can start being free to think of things at a higher strategic level because you're not totally worried about, are my knees in the right spot? Am I gripping the right way? Have I extended my elbow? Or, so there's some of that. You're starting to be able to link some things together
I like that.
a little bit.
Yeah. So purple belt should start to develop timing, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's not something you can get from watching videos
no.
or even just doing passive drills in class where people are being compliant.
That's right. So at a blue belt level, white to blue belt, you're learning individual techniques step by step because
And
that's how you have to learn.
and you can be a blue belt without ever actually having rolled because you're just learning techniques against someone who's compliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that could be a direction, right?
That
Is it the right direction?
No,
I don't think
no,
so.
but technically you could get to blue never actually having
Some
rolled.
places, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Some places, no. Some places, no.
Okay.
Then the purple belts, you're starting to build some timing around the techniques that you know from blue belt.
Right.
Meaning this, when do you perform your hip escape?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, I've started in the last few months realizing that I'm getting better at knowing when not to do things. Because, well, that'll just be a wasted energy, and now I'll still be back where I started, but now I'm tired.
That's right. That's right.
That's a huge lesson.
So purple belts, you're starting to build timing. You're starting to build awareness around what's going on,
Not only what I'm doing, but where's his weight right now?
what the other person's doing and trying to accomplish.
He's beside me, he's loaded on top of me.
And you're starting to build combinations.
Yeah.
That would be my take on a purple belt. Timing, awareness, combinations. You're starting to put techniques together. You're not just thinking one thing at a time anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Purple belt should be difficult to pin.
Yeah.
Purple belt should be hard to hold down, right?
Right.
And you know what it's like going from white to blue, blue into purple. Like those are a lot of years of spending a lot of time on your back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those beginning 4, 5, 6 years of jiu-jitsu, you spend a lot of time in inferior positions.
Yeah.
So by the time you're a purple belt, you should have had enough of it, right?
If you're a legit purple belt, you are hard to hold
Yeah,
down.
you've had enough of being pinned. You've had enough of being grinded on by the upper belts. So, you've built this game around keeping yourself safe on the bottom, but also being hard to pin. We should have a difficult time keeping purple belts down.
So you're not really expecting a purple belt, a new purple belt he doesn't have to have an awesome submission game yet.
No,
You're still in the defensive world of survival escape.
you're right on that teeter-totter, right? Of, like I said, you've spent the majority of your time defending,
Yeah.
and now you're starting to come up from that, and now you're starting to build a game around, I'm escaping these positions a lot easier, and I'm spending more time on the top.
So now you're free to play the other side of the game where the escapes now you can just go into a flow state and achieve it. And while it's happening, you can start looking ahead to now, once I get out of this,
That's right.
here's going to be the attack I move towards.
That's right.
So that's where you're going from new purple to almost brown.
And that's where, like, leading into brown belt is where you should start be building a game,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So purple to brown, now you're starting to hone in your game. So what positions do you like to go to? What submissions do you like to attack?
Jiu-jitsu is way too big to be awesome at everything.
Yo, you can't.
You can't.
Especially
right.
at those, blue, purple, even brown belt
And
level, right?
I think that's something that when people first start, they don't realize that.
They don't realize how much there is to learn. And then you learn something and then you realize there's 10 layers underneath of what you just learned. And then there's another 10 layers underneath of that.
Each one of those branch off.
That's right. That's right.
And it's never ending. It's functionally infinite.
That's right.
Yeah. So then you have to kind of pick and choose. What do I like? What works well for me?
And where do you focus your time?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a big one. I see it all the time. My students training, thinking that they're going to get better at this one thing, but they're actually they're wasting their mat time on something that's not really going to benefit them in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They're working on something they're not ready for, or it's a bit of a dead end.
That, or they're not seeing clearly what they're doing, right? You see this fancy submission on YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they spend 3 months trying to get that submission to work for them.
Yeah. We've all done that.
We've all done that.
We had a comment
Thanks,
just recently.
YouTube. Right?
We just had a comment recently that said a lot of people try to do all the flashy stuff.
That's right.
And you're right. The basics matter.
But as a blue belt, purple belt, even a brown belt, how do you decipher,
Yeah.
right? What's something that you should be working on and developing and spending your time on, and what's something that's like, yeah, I'll take 5 minutes, maybe try it. If it works for me, if it doesn't, it does, whatever, right?
Whatever, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a seasoning that happens as a person progresses through this. Say like someone at your level and up, you're competent, you're an expert enough now that you can be totally self-directed. You understand the breadth and the depth enough to go, this is what I want to work on next. Someone comes in, puts on the white belt, you have no idea, so you kind of just have to take it on faith that the instructor is going to guide me. But you can't. Early on, I would be, you could see a technique and go, well, that's not going to work for me. Well, it might just be that I have so many things wrong in the technique that's why it's not working. It's not because I'm old or not flexible enough. I'm just not doing it right. So I have to.
Might not work for you right now.
Right now. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. So something I found as a white, as a newish blue, was sometimes I have to temper that where I look at someone, nah, that's not going to work for me. Well, it might. I just have to actually learn it first.
You might have to just spend a little time on it.
Yeah. So I haven't, whereas you're at a position where you can go, okay, I know that's something that suits me better versus not that. And you'd understand the depth of why.
That's right. And most of the time when I'm rolling or training, especially with you guys, because I'm always just training with my students, right? I'm always working on something that you guys don't know what I'm working on.
Those of us who've rolled with you enough can start to get a feel for, oh, you're working on a thing. I have no idea what it
You have
is.
no idea what it is. But somehow we keep ending up in this same little loop. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're like, oh, I'll steer it back this way. I'll steer it back that way. I'll come back this way to it. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Well, you have to get better, right?
Yeah.
And, even as a guy like myself, I still want to improve. I still want to get better.
As good as you are,
I'm not that good.
there's still
right? Like,
this much of what the entire sea of jiu-jitsu has to offer.
as good as you guys think I am, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not that good. Right? So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay.
we can always be better.
Right. Yeah. It's a very humbling thing, this game.
That's right. And honestly, the most humbling for me was at the black belt level.
I've heard that. People say
The
that.
most humbling for me was at the black belt level.
Looking at that plateau from down here, people like me go, I don't know how that can be, but I'll take it on faith.
Yeah. And you get to your black belt and you think, oh, yeah, I got this. And then you're like, no, I know nothing.
Yeah. Because you see so much deeper.
The amount I've learned and discovered since being a black belt is probably more significant than the stuff I learned from white to black belt.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of years.
Yeah. I could, like I say, I've taken on faith, but I could see that in my own field that I do for a living. I understand that, right? I've done what I do for a living for more than 3 decades, and the amount that I've learned in the last 10 years swamps everything up to that point.
Yeah. Well, think about it like this, Lee. When you don't have to worry about the steps to a basic hip escape, the steps to a basic bridge and roll escape, right?
Yes.
When you've done those hundreds of thousands of times, I don't have to think about my hip escapes. So now what I do get to think about is, how does my hip escape pair with a sweep?
Yeah.
How does my hip escape pair with an attack or submission of some kind? Right? So you start to add layers to a basic technique like a hip escape that, as a white belt, you think is, oh man, this is like 20 steps to this technique. This is a lot of things to learn, right?
If you're consciously thinking about them, there's no way you're going to be able to do it in real time.
That's right. That's right.
They have to be put into all the muscles, tendons.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
And that's when we're talking about purple belts, they're starting to develop that. They're starting to develop that muscle memory, that sense of timing,
Right. With regard to their escapes,
everything.
everything.
Their pins, their escapes, what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what, 6 years ish to become a purple belt,
Yeah,
right?
of honest, dedicated hobbyist.
Yeah.
Right. Quicker if you're fanatical, but maybe never.
It's a significant amount of time
Yeah.
to spend on something.
Yeah, and that's not doing it once a week.
No, right? You're doing 3, 4, 5 training sessions a week.
And when you're there, you're present.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not just screwing around trying to see who you can beat up. You're trying.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So blue belt is an advanced beginner. You've just skimmed off the surface.
Yeah.
Purple belt, we're starting to build some timing, awareness, sensitivity around all your blue belt techniques. Brown belt, you're starting to develop a game.
Starting to get your own personality.
You're starting to get your own personality on the mats. You're starting to build a game. I can escape from the side mount. Okay. And I'm starting to spend some time on the top side.
And you can do it comfortably enough now that you can play and experiment from there. It's
That's
not a struggle of, oh my God, I got top.
You're not spending the entire round trying to get out from underneath somebody.
Right.
Right? Now you've escaped, hopefully within a minute or less.
Yeah.
And you're spending some time on top, looking for attacks, looking for strategy.
If you're a brown belt and you're spending a lot of time on the bottom, it's because you're letting the other guy work some stuff. You're in a teaching mode.
That's right.
Assuming you're a legit brown belt.
And now a lot of times once you're a brown belt, brown is one of those belts where I think you spend, the least amount of time at. In my opinion. I don't know, but, and hear me out. When you're a brown belt, you're just about a black belt, right? Like
Yeah.
you're right there.
You just need some polish.
You just need some polish. So it's not the gap from white to blue, like that's pretty big.
And the gap from new blue to almost purple is huge.
The gap from blue to purple is pretty huge, and the gap from purple to brown is pretty huge.
Yeah.
But now, and I say this, the gap from brown to black is probably the smallest gap out of all of those.
Interesting.
Because by the time you get to a brown belt, like, you have a significant amount of knowledge of this art. You've started to build a game around
Might
yourself.
be like a decade into it.
That's right. And maybe what puts you over the edge from brown to black is, maybe you're a pretty good instructor,
Okay.
right? Maybe you can articulate what's going on well.
Is there a mind shift that you see is necessary when you go like through the brown belt journey, that a person is like something you don't get day one brown that you've changed in you by the time you're ready to test for black?
Yeah. Let me lay it to you like this. Purple belts. As a black belt, I hate training with the purple belts the most. Sorry, purple belts, but this is why. Purple belts are like the middle child.
Oh,
Purple belts are like the middle child. They're right in the middle of the pack between not being a beginner anymore and not being really seasoned.
they don't suck, but they're not great.
That's right. They're good.
Yeah.
They got serious. A purple belt will have serious skill to anyone that doesn't train.
Yeah. They can start
Right?
to overcome a lot of physical attributes.
But purple belts always have something to prove.
Yeah.
They're better than the blue belts. They're trying to catch up to the brown and black belts,
Right.
right? So they always have something to prove, which means they always train full bore all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, purple belts.
This is the point where you first started really tasting maybe black someday.
That's right.
So you're hungry
That's
for
right.
it.
You're
right?
hungry for it.
When you're white, you're like, oh, it's so far
You
away.
want to score a submission on a brown or a black belt. You're just like, oh, I can taste it.
Training is not playful with them when it's
No,
time, eh? It's
that's
go
right.
time.
It's go time. So, and that's my senses of a purple belt. Like they're like the middle child.
Yeah. Yeah. Forgotten. You're not you're like a 40-year-old in your job. You're not young enough that anyone feels sorry for you, and you're not old enough that anyone feels sorry for you.
But
You're
then
just like, do your job.
But then by the time you're into your brown belt, you've built some maturity.
Yeah. And
right?
now you're not so worried about, oh, a blue belt got a tap. You're like,
You can play with the blues, you can play with the whites, you can even play with the purple belts a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You've built some maturity around your game and how you approach what's going on. So you're not injuring people anymore, right? That's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's something that I think should happen, going back to the white to blue, it's learning how not to hurt people, right? Because on day one, people come in and they know nothing. So you go, well, what can I rely on? Strength, speed, aggression. And that takes a while to hammer out.
And I say this all the time, white belts just move to move. They move for the sake of moving because they think they have to. And they usually move incorrectly.
Into bad spots.
Which either puts them into a bad spot or they're elbowing somebody on their way there or headbutting somebody on their way there because they're just moving for the sake of moving and they don't know why or how or the right way to move.
I've noticed the longer I do this, the slower I move.
Yeah.
I'm not really in any better shape now than when I started. A bit, but really I'm not getting gassed as much because I'm just learning. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point. I might as well relax, and I get a better sense of now is a good time to try, and now is just not the right time to try to escape.
Yeah.
Okay.
So brown belts, you're building some maturity.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And then the journey from brown to black is you're giving back.
Yeah.
Right? You're giving back to your community, to your school, to the students around you. Just like all the brown and black belts did for you, now you're starting to do that with all the white and blues and purples that are coming up behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got good answers when the younger belt asks a question. You can give them an actual answer rather than either saying, I don't know, or making something up. Which, by the way, I far prefer that I just admit I don't know.
Yeah. Or you have the maturity to go and say, hey, I know a guy that does know.
Yeah. Right.
He knows.
Yeah.
Let's ask him.
Yeah. Should become a steward of the art.
Yeah.
What about how much value do you think people should place on their belt rank and their belts? It seems like some people, on the one hand, get
great question. Yeah.
overly wrapped up in it. Other people, I've heard people go, oh, well, belts don't matter that much. I mean, I feel like, I'm proud of the fact that I earned my blue, but I also don't want to be, smug about it and be like, because it's still just a blue, right?
Here's what I'm going to say to that question. As long as you're applying yourself, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because the belts will come wherever you're training, right? Your instructor, your professor, whoever you have guiding you, if you're showing up and you're applying yourself, they can't not notice that.
Right.
Right? It's when it starts to get muddy and you start to become, wow, I'm a white belt, I'm a 2-stripe white belt, and I've been a 2-stripe white belt for 4 years, but I only show up to class or to train once a week, maybe every other week, maybe some weeks twice a week, right? It's those ones that it starts to get muddy because they're not really applying themselves.
Yeah.
But they've been doing it for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, on the calendar.
And then in their minds, they think they should be further along than they are.
Maybe you've been at school for a few years and somebody's come in after you and now they've been promoted past you.
That's right.
And that's okay.
And maybe it's because they applied themselves a little bit more than you did.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you're applying yourself, your instructor, your professor, they will notice.
Yeah.
If you're not applying yourself, as much as you could be or should be, they will also notice.
Right, right. If you're a bad student, if you hurt people, if you're
Yeah.
selfish, right? If during drills, you're always just shutting down what the other guy's supposed to be
That's
being
right,
able
right?
to work on.
Man, there's so many of these variables when it comes to promotions, promoting your students.
That would be a real challenge for you to try and have a level hand through it all.
It is. It really is. And
Knowing that there's people's egos and feelings involved.
yeah,
Maybe you got a guy who's a nice guy and you like him, but you're just like, he's just not right.
not
And then,
ready yet, you know.
there's other people, maybe you promote a guy and you go, ooh, maybe that was a little too soon.
That's right.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. Everybody learns at a different rate
And in different styles.
and in different styles.
Some people just wrote memorization. Other people wanted to
Yeah.
dig deep and understand the underlying foundation.
And then, you know, I've seen it on the flip side where you do get those individuals that do apply themselves and they're showing up every day, every day, every day, every day. But for some reason, they're really just not grasping what's
Struggling.
going on. They're struggling, right?
Natural at it, yeah.
They're just not a natural at it. So what do you do with those individuals, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're here, they're applying themselves, but skill wise, they're just not picking it up.
On a flatter.
Yeah, they're going to be on a little bit of a slower path, and that's okay too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, great question, Lee. And that's something that, you know, as a black belt, and I promote my own students, that I personally think about often.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have that job of trying to grade that.
And I struggle also with it often, being like, oh man, this person's really applying themselves right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then I always tend to wait a little bit. Usually it's 1 or 2 months. So when I get one of my students and they're like really applying themselves,
Everything, and I'm gonna
that's
kill
right.
this. And,
I like to see exactly how long that's going to last before I reward them for it, right? If it's 2 weeks, yeah, right. And anyone can do something good for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But when you're going into like month 2, 2 months of applying yourself, all right, I've noticed, right?
Some people like the idea of doing a thing more than the doing of the thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's learning to play an instrument or do this or whatever, right? It's like, oh, I'd really like to be able to speak that language, or I'd like to be able to whatever, right?
But it takes time,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Showing
can't just
up
you
and-
can't just be like, oh, I want to learn Spanish.
I'd
And-
like to be able to speak it. Okay.
and practice Spanish once every other week. You won't learn it.
You'll never get conversation.
You'll never learn it.
Sandbagging.
Sandbagging.
There's another topic, hey?
Well, that's a big topic, and that's a big one for competitive jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they do it, right?
Mhm.
The instructor either holds the student back.
So that he can win a lot of medals, win some hardware for the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the student will request to be held back for that reason.
Right.
Don't promote me to blue belt just yet. I want to do 5 more tournaments at white belt, and then right.
Like really, if a person's not competitive and you just never wanted to test, there's people who have just never tested who are white belts who can hang with purples and browns because they just don't bother to test. They know, they like studying, they know the art.
Yeah.
And if you're not competing so that you're not like in the wrong handicap, to use a golf term, it doesn't really matter then too much, does it? As much.
No.
Yeah. It's like I'd want to be, and then the flip side of that is the imposter syndrome where you get promoted and you're like, I don't really feel like I'm this belt yet.
Yeah, see, I would never want that to happen to me.
No, that's where, like I've said to you multiple times, I'm like, don't give me a stripe or don't give me a test until
Yeah.
I want to be like, you can look at me and go, that's exactly what I think this rank should have and look like skills wise and attitude and all those things. I want to be the model of that. I want to be where I should be. Right.
Yeah.
And if it means I stay here with no stripes for longer, I'm fine with that. In fact, right now, this is great because I can enjoy coming to class and learning, and there's zero pressure because I know the purple belt test is still a goodly distance away. There's not any freaking worry yet about, oh, it's going to be killer. It's
Yeah.
far enough in the future that I can just enjoy studying right now. And that is nice. There's something to be said
Yeah.
for enjoying where you're at, right?
Absolutely.
White belt, you can enjoy the fact that there's no pressure, you know. Blue, still there's a bit more, you're carrying that belt, but it's not, if you screw up, it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, and everybody makes mistakes. And here's the thing, it's not just about enjoying the belt you're at, it's about enjoying the whole process.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, right? I mean, really, if you pin it all on that piece of black cloth, you'll achieve that, and then there'll be another pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
It's life happens every single day, and it's like enjoy the class right now. If you're doing something and you hate it, but you're doing it because your ego says, I want a belt rank, you should probably think about quitting.
Well, that's right.
You know?
Right? Like maybe you're doing jiu-jitsu for all the wrong
For the
reasons.
wrong reasons, right?
Right?
Yeah.
And it also boils down to, Lee, just enjoying life.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
enjoy your life. Enjoy your time
Yeah.
on the mats. Enjoy your time on the mats with your teammates. Enjoy the time on the mats with your instructor, right?
Make friends.
Make friends.
Right?
Have fun with it.
You're my teacher, I'm your student. We film these. We're also friends.
Absolutely.
Right? We get
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
And that's the same with all the people I train with here, right? I look forward to coming here and seeing these people. And it's like, yeah, you can do this to me and I can do that to that guy. But
But at the
all
end of the
learned.
day, we're all here trying to make each other better,
Yeah.
keep each other safe, and grow the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Neat. Well, thanks.
Yeah, no, thanks for your insight. That was great. And let us know what you guys think. Belt ranks.
Yeah.
Where do you think they should, like, how much weight are on your belt ranks?
Enjoy the journey, right? Tell us, are you happy where you're at?
Yeah, let us know. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks, Lee.
Thanks. Sir.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yes, please. What did you think of that?
That might be really good.
I hope so.